Good afternoon. On the program it says Michael Sabangan. My full name is Michael Ray Eslava Sabangan. I'm the oldest of the Eslava cousins and son of Corey. My mom is the second child of my grandma Helene. I want to first give my condolences to my Uncle Mike and Auntie Auntie, whom are also my wife and I, my Ninong and Ninang. Auntie Auntie, Uncle Mike, outliving any of your children is a pain that is not supposed to happen or be experienced. Growing up, I spent a lot of time with my Slava side, and of course, all of my wonderful and crazy cousins, who many are here today. We all at one point lived probably within a 15-mile radius of each other. I always look forward to holidays, birthdays, because you all get to hang out, eat, and of course have fun. There were 23 of us. A special time in my life was during summer vacations while I was in elementary school. I essentially got to take 2 vacations a summer, 2 to 3 week road trip vacations every year for a good 4 to 5 years. One was with my dad, my mom, and my siblings. And once we got back, had time to do a little bit of laundry, and then I'd go on vacation with my Uncle Mike, Auntie Auntie, Ed, Edward, and Edwin. I had many fond memories during those times. Sleeping with Ed and Edward on top of the bunk portion of their bubble top van. Learning how to eat all different kinds of Ilocano food like pinakbet. And of course, exploring nature. One story of Edward I'd like to share was when I was fishing one day with Uncle Mike, Ed, and Edward. I'm not really sure who else was on the boat, but fishing was something they liked to do. And we went deep sea fishing. And on one of the trips, we were heading back, and I remember all us kids were asking Uncle Mike to drive the boat faster and faster. I think Ed and I were in the front, and then Edward was somewhere along the boat. But this boat had 2 decks. One where you could drive the boat from on top, then one where you could drive kind of underneath. And I remember Uncle Mike at the top, he was going pretty fast, and I were thinking, wow, this is great. The wind, the water's hitting us. And then I could see Edward on the bottom, pretending he was also driving while we were steering it. I was like, wow, this is great. This is so much fun. Watching him enjoy himself. We were still kind of far from shore, and all of a sudden I heard a loud explosion. Boom. I was like, did he get shot? Something happened. And then I saw smoke coming from the engine. I looked around, and then I saw Edward at the bottom, basically took the, I'm not good at boats, but the throttle or whatever, we were going full speed, like Uncle Mike, we asked Uncle Mike, and he jammed it in reverse. And I looked around, and I was like, wow, this is great. We're in the middle of nowhere. I could hardly see the shore. And I was like, yep, Edward killed us all. I was like, oh, so we sat drifting there for a while. And I was like, it's still kind of barely light because you go out early in the morning. And then I was like, well, what do we do? Then I realized Uncle Mike is in the back trying to fix the engine, do what he can. And I had this red sweater. I looked at it, I was like, let's just wave this thing around, hoping someone would see us. Well, eventually, probably a couple hours went by, and eventually a boat came around, and we got towed back. Edward was always curious about how things work. And of course, here he became a mechanic. Yep, that kind of fits his skill set. Edward always respected us older cousins, even though he grew to be taller and bigger than a lot of us. As Ed said, he looked up to his brother Ed and looked after his younger brother Edwin. He was always good with his hands, whether it was working with cars, building things, and of course, piano and guitar. He was also athletic. He liked to sing and found ways to connect with others in his own way. Now there are 22 of us, first cousins remaining on the Slava side, from my grandma Helene's 6 children. I know we'll never be able to get together, all of us, and be complete, but I know Edward will never be forgotten.